Good day, everyone. My name is Fasiku Oluwaseyi, and today I'm here to talk on the topic, Cyrenaica Demands Self-Determination. My purpose of this speech is to persuade the audience in order to come together to support the people of Cyrenaica in making a case for their self-determination. In introducing this topic, it will be necessary to note what the definition of self-determination means. Self-determination by the Webster Online Dictionary is defined as the principle in international law that nations have the right to freely choose their sovereignty and international political status with no external compulsion. By extension, it has come to mean the free choice of one's own acts without external compulsion. The right to self-determination is recognized as a right of all peoples in the United Nations, International Bill of Human Rights, and of Indigenous People in the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People adopted by the General Assembly in 2007. In understanding this topic better, it will be necessary to know what Cyrenaica is about and to know a brief history about Cyrenaica as a region in Libya. Cyrenaica is the eastern region of Libya, and Libya actually is a country located in the African continent and is located in the northern part of Africa. Cyrenaica is adjacent to Tripolitania in the northwest and Hasan in the southwest. Cyrenaica is also, as you can see, there is this map showing what the regions actually do look like. Some interesting things to note about Cyrenaica is that Cyrenaica, or Bakar as it is locally referred to, it stretches from the literal town of Sirte, and that's the common place of the birth of the Muammar Gaddafi, and to the eastern border within Egypt. Benghazi, which is also Cyrenaica's capital, is the second largest city in Libya, and Cyrenaica actually holds 3/4 of Libya's vast oil reserves. It is also known as the birthplace of Libyan civil war. Cyrenaica actually shows so much affluence because of its wealth. That was like a long time before, but however, due to four decades of deprivation, of discrimination, and of marginalization, Cyrenaica and its citizens don't really enjoy the benefits of their riches from the oil itself because the central government in Tripoli do not make them do. And Cyrenaica actually has some history about the autonomy. For about 10 years after it became an independent state in 1951, Libya was run along the federal lines, and there was power divided between the three regions. There was Cyrenaica having its own power, Hasan and Tripolitan having its own power, and Cyrenaica also enjoyed prestige and power under King Idris. This was their post-independence ruler, and because his base was in the eastern region, Cyrenaica people really enjoyed a lot of wealth and prestige. But after being toppled by Muammar Gaddafi's military coup in 1969, eastern Libya was sidelined for the next 4 years. The history of autonomy is partially driving its bid for self-determination within Libya. So one may ask the question, why should Cyrenaica deserve or go ahead and ask for their self-determination? These are the reasons why Cyrenaica demands self-determination. The first and most important reason is because of the marginalization and neglect of the Cyrenaica people for over 4 decades. There's also been shown to be a lack of significant economic progress and development, unlike that of Tripolitanian and Hasan. Cyrenaica's dissatisfaction also with the central government is another reason in Tripoli, another reason for their demand for self-determination. And there's also the underrepresentation of the Cyrenaicas in the interim parliamental body. Recently, 60 seats were given to Cyrenaicas, and compared to Tripoli, which had about 120 or more than 120 seats in the parliamental body, it shows that there is not really a fair share between the level of governance between and amongst all the regions in Libya. Mustafa Abel-Jalil is actually the president of the president's ruling body in Libya, and that's known as the National Transitional Council. And right here on this PowerPoint, there is a picture showing a side-by-side comparison with Muammar al-Gaddafi and Mustafa Abel-Jalil. Aside the clothing they do wear, there seems to be a lot of similarity between these two people. Mustafa Abdul-Jalil, as shown here, is ably assisted by Abdurrahim Al-Kib. He's actually the transitional prime minister of Libya, and these people have been shown to be lovers of centralism. Here, this picture shows them feeding the centralism and being happy about it, while other people in Cyrenaica are not really happy about it. This is also another picture to show their excitement and their happiness about centralism. This is this statue showing Mustafa's picture. It's just like a figure like it's being dedicated to him here. And one may ask, so what has been the input of this National Transitional Council of Libya for over 6 months since they have been in power? There has been so much criticism and so much shortcomings about their governance, and some of the reasons and some of the critics being given is that there has been a lack of transparency with this National Transitional Council. There's also been a failure to protect the rights of minorities. There's also been slow restoration of public services in areas that has been worst hit during the revolution. There's also been an unaccountable detention system, and there has been an inability to bring the militias under total control and to decommission their arms. The torture of prisoners is also another key theme being addressed and being criticized with this group of people. The major thing is actually about the assassination of Abdul Fattah Yunus. Abdul Fattah Yunus used to be the leader of the rebel group that was against Gaddafi during his days. But a day before Abdul Fattah Yunus was assassinated, he was actually taken in for questioning by senior officials of the National Transitional Council group. And when his body was discovered, his body had been mutilated. His body was found along with those of 2 senior aides in a valley near the rebel-held city of Benghazi on 28 July 2011. Several of his fingers had been cut off. One of his eyes has been gouged out. His stomach was also cut open, and his body was burnt. This indeed is a crime against humanity and should be really addressed. On March 6, 2012, the people of Cyrenaica decided to raise themselves to liberty and raise themselves to their own faith by converging for the Congress of the People of Cyrenaica. And this convergence had a group of military people, of their elder statesmen, and some of the citizens of the Cyrenaica region. The process took a lot of deliberation, and for the process of self-determination to be really actualized and realized, the basic steps are supposed to be considered for the people of Cyrenaica. They could either have a direct negotiation by their representatives or by their participants. There could also be a mediation through a trusted third party, or there could be findings of an agreed upon independent tribunal or the ruling of a recognized international court, such as the International Court of Justice. This process actually would really end when the people consent to have a proposed outcome through referendum, plebiscite, or some other form of means. However, they also were able to choose the leader. This was Ahmed Al-Zubayr. He's also a National Transitional Council member, but he has been the longest serving political prisoner under Muammar Gaddafi, and he actually is going to lead the Cyrenaica's governing council. Nevertheless, we have the president of the National Transitional Council, Mustafa Abdul-Jalil, who is threatening to use force to force the East autonomy bill. That means he's trying all his power, and he's going to try to use force if the people of Cyrenaica or the eastern region would not want to give up their autonomy bill. And here we see some rebels and some other people like kind of protesting about Libyans' declaration of their semi-autonomous, that's the eastern part of Libya, and that's Cyrenaica. Actually here the youth are protesting and they're ready to take their semi-autonomous bid to any level they want to take it. In conclusion, The citizens of Cyrenaica for over 40 years have suffered discrimination, deprivation, oppression, and a denial of a fair share of their own wealth. In the words of Charles Caleb Colton, an English writer and cleric, he says, and I quote, "Liberty will not descend to a people. A people must raise themselves to liberty. It is a blessing that must be earned before it can be enjoyed." A call to action, therefore, is for all people to join the Cyrenaicas in voicing out the support for their independence and self-determination, just like the people of Southern Sudan and also the people of Kosovo. Only then can the people of Cyrenaica enjoy the blessing of liberty. Thank you.
Thank you.